Waiting till I get the go ahead. All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. This is Elena of the Witch's Box, and I'm here again on a Friday at 10 o'clock Pacific time for our live guided meditation. I see that Ada is here first, which is wonderful. Welcome. Hi. It's Friday. It is a high today of 75 here in Idlewild, California, and holy cow, it is glorious. Um, I don't know that we had an especially super cold winter, but we did have a couple of weeks there where it was really, really cold, and I normally really, really love winter, but I've been ready. And I think that spring is inching her way through here, and it's very exciting. So hello. Wishing you all a beautiful Friday and checking in. Like, how are you all doing? Hi V, welcome. We started a couple minutes early, which is totally fine. What else do I want to tell you? It's Friday. Oh, I'll just give you some announcements while we wait for a couple people to show up. Currently, as we speak, the books for next month's book subscription are getting packed. We're back on the early schedule with the books, which I'm really excited about. They should be mailing out Monday or potentially Tuesday, depending on how things go. And boxes, we're not packing up yet because we're waiting for the one amazing, beautiful thing that is just not here yet. So we'll see how that goes. And that's really it for announcements. We have 2 more spaces available for our Bookish Witch retreat, which is happening in May. Jump on that now. We have a bunch of spaces open for our Finding the Oracle virtual retreat. It's going to be virtual, so you can do it from wherever you are. But we're going to do 3 really deep dive, intensive days of ritual and teaching, which I'm very excited to do. And that's happening in April. And that's it. Hi, Emily. Hi, Catherine. Hello. Hi. Yeah, like that. So let me just pull out my notes because I wanted to talk a little bit about this meditation before we jump into it. And then also will allow some people to arrive. Um, Hold on, let me make my little window smaller. Yesterday, okay, well, right now what are we doing? Our moon is in Capricorn right now. I think that in a couple of days, am I wrong about this? I think I'm ahead of schedule. We're going to start with our dark waning moon phase of the moon. The rituals for that and the teaching for that has already posted for the Moon Ritual Coven members. So go to the website to check that out. There's a link in the forum if you don't have the link to the modules. And yeah, this is the last waning moon phase of a winter moon phase. Does that make sense? Because we're in spring officially, but this is like almost like the final punctuation in terms of the end of winter, because you've got, winter and all the seasons are a solar cycle, but we also follow every month a lunar cycle. And so this is the end, and this is like the final release of whatever has been dragging around with us from last year in order to begin in the Aries season brand new. And so it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a great opportunity to do some really intense release work, but also some great divination work. So anyway, all of that is reflected in the Moon Ritual Coven modules that are already up for the Dark Waning Moon. So that's available. And I think that that's all in relation to my announcements. Hi, Season Wee Moon. Hi, Layla. Welcome. Yes, thank you. And so Emily posted links to Finding the Oracle retreat and the Bookish Witch retreat as well. The 2, I got feedback from all of you, so I totally got it. The 2 rooms that were shared rooms are now single rooms, and they're the big, lush, delicious bed situation. So those are the 2 spots that are available. So if you wanted to do a retreat where you're just like, you're going to be hogging the bed the whole weekend, those are now available for you, so you can grab that. Okay. I think that that's good. That's it. Let me talk a little bit about what we're doing today. This meditation doesn't really require a lot of visualization. The intention is enough. It is similar to last week's meditation where we did the whole embodiment of happy, of the sensation and emotion and feeling of being happy. But we did it last week through embodying through a memory, right? Where we really go back in our memory to find and reenact a memory or an experience of when you were happy in order to then take that sensation or feeling out of that situation and just kind of keep it with you today, here in the present time, in order to shift your state of mind. That's what we did last week, and that is a way of doing it. It works best with things like um, happiness, because happiness is so very happiness is different than joy, right? And happiness tends to be much more situational, where joy can be situational as well, but joy seems to be a little bit more self-sustaining. You can carry joy through your day in yourself regardless of what is happening. And the same thing can be said about happy, but happy has a little bit of a different cultural context and definition and baggage. What we're going to be doing today is different, because it is definitely about embodying something to really hold space wherever you are for that emotion or that state of being. But because we're working with peace, peace is a slipstream of energy that exists. It's like abundance. Abundance is a slipstream out there that exists. We can either tap into it and flow seamlessly through it, or we can be like bumping up and having a hard time and snagging our way through it, right? It's the same with peace. And oftentimes, and this is similar to love, if we were to do a love meditation to embody love, we wouldn't be remembering love, we would be bringing love in. Because once we have love and we think that we have love, we also put all sorts of our baggage over what love is. And so you don't necessarily want to embody the love that you know. You want to bring in more of the real love so that it can continue to transform you and refine you closer to that pure vibration, if that makes sense. And we're doing that with peace. And so with the peace meditation, what we're doing is we're going to be drawing it in through the breath. Super easy meditation. I've got some things kind of woven in there to help weave your experience, but what you're going to be doing is really about the breath. Yeah. And the intention of, I'm drawing in peace. I'm being nourished by peace. And that's what we're doing. Let me look at my notes really quick to make sure that I've covered all of my oftentimes I've gotten this question where it's like, how do I know it's what I'm bringing in? What if I'm breathing in and I want it to be peace, but I'm breathing in something else? I'm breathing something chaotic. I'm breathing something whatever. The intention is enough. Trust your intention setting. The intention setting is like you're tuning into a channel. I'm tuning into the channel of peace, and that is what I'm receiving. That is enough. That's enough. You can do that, and that works, and trust that. And if you feel like, I don't know, okay, that's cool. And mentally, because this is, oftentimes in spiritual practices, we're like, get out of the brain and get into the heart. Um, don't dismiss the brain, but just tell the brain, we're just going to choose to trust this and move on. Yeah. Um, and then part of why peace, why love, why even happy is that we're witches. And no matter where we are in the world, no matter what room we walk into, we are a resonant field of whatever mental state, emotional state, and spiritual state we are, right? And so if we walk into a room a much stronger embodiment of peace, imagine what kind of effect, subtly, but still, what kind of effect that's going to have in the room around you, what kind of effect it's going to have when you walk into a conversation or engage with someone or sit on the couch and Netflix and chill, right? Whatever state you are absolutely influences your environment. And so the more conscientious we are about making intentional choices about what we're going to embody and what emotional, spiritual, and mental state we're going to hold, the more effect we have in our environment, the more effect we have on everyone around us, the more effect we have on the healing of the world. Because if we hold resonant field of peace, if we hold a resonant field of love, we are just one more, right? One more amplification of that in the world. And my dream come true is that at some point we all reach a collective, like that critical mass where that resonant field is what draws everyone to it, as opposed to this back and forth between war and peace. Yeah. And peace is elusive. Um, Peace is elusive, because if you're anxious, you're not at peace. If you're stressed, you're not at peace. If you're depressed, you're not at peace. If you are unconsciously dealing with your stuff throughout the day and reacting, you're not at peace. And that's not shame and that's not judgment. That's just let's come into awareness about what kind of state are we in all the time? What kind of state are we in most of the time? And then start really thinking about what would it be like if we can consciously make choices around, oh, I'm really feeling like I'm a hot mess right now. Let me have a minute to meditate and come into alignment with something different. There's a lot of empowerment in that. It's not just about your magic and it's not just about other people that you might affect. It's also about you and your well being. Yeah. Okay. That is a lot of words. Let me drink some water. It's a high of 71 in Albuquerque. I love Albuquerque. We have been to Albuquerque twice to house sit for friends. They don't live there anymore, but we would house sit. They traveled a lot and they had dogs, and so they wanted someone to be with their dogs, and we love dogs. Um, and anyway, all that to say that first of all, New Mexico red and green sauce is like, I don't even know. It's like gold. And the food in Albuquerque was just epic. And we were on the river, so we had a lot of trees around the house. It was beautiful. Anyway, okay. Yay, I'm glad that you made it. Elizabeth, hello. One more thing that I want to say. Is there anything else I want to say about peace? No, I think that that's it. So, if there aren't any questions and we're ready, if you haven't like gathered your things, gather your candle. If you have incense, do that. Shift yourself in your seat so that you're comfortable but sitting upright. And I'm going to light my candle and then we're going to begin. I love these little candles. I got them at Michael's and they're super cheap, but they're really lovely. And I love the glow in the glass. All right, my friends. Take a deep breath. Come into stillness. And then just breathe normally while paying attention to what that breath sounds like. This is the perfect part of the meditation where you're breathing, you're checking in to see what that breath sounds like coming in and out of your body, but you're also checking in to see what you're feeling. Do you have any tension spots on your body? Is anything achy or stiff? It's also a great time to just, as you do that, seek your most comfortable but alert seated position for your meditation, right? This is where we make those little micro adjustments. This is the check in, right? We want to be familiar with our state, our internal state. It's not just your mental state or your emotional state, but where's your body? And when we pay attention to the way our breath sounds, right, we come into stillness a lot easier because we're paying attention, and things tend to go still when you pay attention. Now, slowly begin to breathe with intention. This is where you start to breathe a lot slower, a lot deeper. You're taking in more air, and you can feel your rib cage expand more now when you take in that full breath. And likewise, when you let it go, it's slow and savoring, like you just want to linger with your breath a little bit longer before it finally leaves your body. You want to slow it down, you want to deepen it, still paying attention to it. You can also play with just how much breath you can take in on the inhale. So you want to experience a little bit of stretch in your lungs and your rib cage so that you're kind of pushing past the stiff setting that you have right now. When you've hit that sweet spot, kind of stay there so that your breath becomes steady, deep, and slow, but it becomes a really consistent rhythm that you can kind of lose yourself in. And now you can begin to keep the breath going while you practice relaxing your body at each exhale. We draw in that sustaining, nourishing air, and then when we release, we let whatever isn't serving us escape, whether that be tension in your shoulders, or pain in your back, or that kind of gripping feeling in your belly because you're nervous about something. Little by little, you set the intention that every single time that you exhale, a little bit of that gets released each time. Allow each breath and inhale to bring you further and further into your body, opening you up to receive, and each exhale to release, but fuller, so that now you're inhaling past your lungs and you're inhaling with your full body, right? As if your entire body opens and expands and receives, so that the breath comes in and touches every single cell of your body. And then when you exhale, your body deflates a little bit. There's a relaxation where it all just exits out of your body. You can even feel the air moving past your lungs so that they're almost like a very easy to pass filter. You breathe in and it comes through your lungs, yes, but also into your chest, into your arms, into your head, and your belly, your hips, your legs, your feet, all of it receives. And then when you're ready to exhale, whatever thing, energy, tension, pain, discomfort that doesn't serve you, the air catches so that when you exhale, it just takes it out with it. On your next inhale, set the intention that you're going to be drawing in peace. The intention here is enough. Even if the feeling or definition of peace seems elusive to you, trust that by intending to breathe in peace, it will come. So that each inhale brings in the state and vibration of peace. You don't even have to know what peace is. The intention is enough. And then each exhale releases specifically any obstructions that you hold to peace within you. So anything that is in opposition to peace within you is what you're going to be slowly releasing in the exhale. So you inhale peace all into your full body, and you exhale whatever obstructs you from fully embodying peace. You don't even have to know what that is. You just set the intention. Remember that this is a process. It's a process of nourishment and release. So it may not happen instantly, 1000%, but we practice, and this is a process. Inhale the state and vibration of peace, and then in the exhale, you release the obstructions that you might have to holding peace within you. Allow each breath to be complete and full. As you're breathing, check in with yourself. Are there any specific distractions coming up? And if there are, acknowledge them and then return to the breath. Likewise, you can check in to see if there are any emotions that are coming up or any anxiousness that's coming up. There's no judgment, nothing has gone wrong. You can acknowledge that, right? As a bow of honoring, you acknowledge what it is, and then you still return to the breathing. Return to receiving peace and releasing what doesn't serve. Receiving peace might not feel as you expected, and this too can be a distraction. Don't get caught up in that. Just return to the breath and trust. The trust is a choice. Choose to trust that you have tuned into the right frequency, the right channel, and each inhale draws in the state and magic and wisdom of peace, even if you don't understand it now and you don't know quite how to experience it. Allow it to come into your body and touch every single cell. Then on the release, you relax your body, allowing it to deflate while what doesn't serve you begins to exit your body and your soul. That's all you have to do here. Just trust. While you're doing this, I'd like for you to check in with the pace of your breath. Is it possible to slow it down just a little bit more? If it is, please do so. Like very consciously choose to slow it down a little bit more. Still breathing in the peace, still exhaling what doesn't serve you. Really stay intentional about what you're drawing in and receiving. And if it still feels a little elusive to you, you can make it almost like a prayer or a request. You are consciously opening up to receive this one thing. Wanting it is magic as well. Really savor what your breath feels like in your body, along with anything else that's coming up, regardless of whether or not we might call it positive or negative. Really savor what you're experiencing right now. Feelings and sensations are life. You're here and you're alive and you're receiving this abundant gift. And anything that you feel is an indication that energy is moving. Life is here. You're moving forward. You're progressing in some way, even if it doesn't feel good. If what you are feeling, if what you are feeling is a still and quiet peace, then you're there. But if you're not, you're moving towards there, right? It works. It's still an experience. You're still present. And the intention still works because you said it. So each inhale brings in the peace, moving you closer and closer to a full embodiment. Each exhale brings you closer to the full release. You don't have to effort through this. It just is. Draw in 3 more rounds of breaths. And then when you're ready, bow in gratitude to the energetic slipstream of peace for sustaining you and nourishing you this morning. Knowing that you can come back here as often as you want and need. And then transition back to this group. That was a short one, but it can certainly be as long as you want to have it be. If you did this for a good solid 30 minutes, you'd probably float off of your chair, but it would be a good sensation to have. This is a really easy and deeply transformative. Like, there are those of us out there who feel like it has to be super duper complicated in order to be transformative, and that's not true. It's really like the juice and the magic and the secret sauce is really in the practice and showing up for it regularly. Um, the way that taking in these kind of energies works is that, yes, absolutely, there are people who have like full on 180 total transformation, instantaneous, but that's not usually how it works. And that's not because it doesn't work, that's because we learn so much about ourselves in the process of the transformation that it's almost always better if it happens incrementally over time. When we start to intentionally draw in a very particular type of energy, it starts to work on us in ways that we can't even begin to understand because there are so many energies at play in who we are, both present energies, our own past energies in terms of our baggage and belief systems, but also the ancestral and generational stuff is in there too. There's a lot that needs to be touched and acknowledged and affected in order for transformation to take place. And so when we do this kind of meditation, we might feel like, oh my God, nothing happened. I didn't really feel anything. Something happened. Of course, it happened. But it's a mystery. We don't really fully know all the ways that that new energy stream is starting to shift and kind of download for you. But over time, it'll make itself known, especially if it's something that you come back to and you fuel and nourish over and over and over again. Yeah. Um, and I had a conversation. I want to talk about this probably more on Tuesday, but I had a conversation with a friend last night about how in the witchcraft community we have so many different types of witches, right? And there isn't a whole lot of talk about peace and love. There is this idea that we should be good to each other and be kind to each other and, you know, be respectful, be politically correct, be compassionate. But most of the time, when we have these beautiful posts on Instagram or videos here on YouTube or whatever we get our information, or even in books, it's really about technique. It's about the technology of magic. It's about correspondences and information in terms of how we have, as collective witches, shaped our cosmology. Um, the peace and the love tends to get relegated to the woo, which I mean, I can go on forever to talk about how I hate that word. Maybe we can talk about that next Tuesday. Um, but at the heart and soul of a witch who strives to be immersed and fully connected to all existence, both seen and unseen, both present and past and future, love and peace are a powerful field that facilitate that connection, that help facilitate our capacity for understanding that connection. You can't ignore the very necessary and very powerful spiritual thread to what it is to walk this earth as a witch. Yeah. And so practices like this help cultivate that, help refine that, help bring you deeper into that understanding and also that level of embodiment. Yeah. So that's why we do this. That's why I highly recommend doing this. You can do this very same thing with love. You can do it with peace. You can do it with compassion. Um, we are probably in a huge shortage of those things in the world. And to have more and to walk the world where you are an emanating being that contributes that to your environment can be an incredibly healing and powerful thing to do and to hold as a witch. So like that. Jilmar, a piece of sweet peace, beautiful. Thank you, Jilmar. So poetic. I love your words. If there are any questions or anything, go ahead and post them in the chat box. Also, I didn't prompt you to do this, but let it just be understood that when you come out of your meditation, if you need to jot things down in your journal so that you don't forget what your experience was or don't forget the thing that came through that you need to really process through, definitely take some time to do some journaling about that, just to jot those notes down so that you don't forget later. I'm going to take a drink. I think that's, there was something else actually that I wanted to share about that. Yeah, no, I think that's it. It's not coming back. So I'll give you a couple more minutes to see if there's any questions, and then we can close out for the Friday. We're out of the weekend. I have a lot of reading to do this weekend, which I love the idea of, but there's a bunch of other things. My own personal spring cleaning is not done. I thought that it was, and then I got into a whole new layer of like, let's continue to move the energy. So I'll be doing a lot of that this weekend as well. I am setting up for myself. I have an altar and a meditation space here, and a little teeny one at the house that we live at right now. But I'm going to be redoing a room so that it is very specifically about this is where I come in to meditate. So I'm excited about that, and that's part of the whole seasonal transition. You're welcome. Is it Jamin or Jaman or because I'm Spanish. I don't think that you're Spanish. I want to say jamon. And I don't know that you're going to be able to tell me how to pronounce your name, but if you can give me some sort of phonetic idea, let me know, please, so that I don't butcher your name. Emily says, yes, we need to do a lot of organizing at home. I mean, right? Yeah. For me, it's definitely this space. This office is just a lot. So I got rid of, I had a huge printer here. I moved it to the workshop so I have more space for books. But the books aren't looking particularly organized, so they need to be done. And I need to redo this altar here. Hi, Robin. Robin is not done spring cleaning either. No, and this is the great thing. The first, Jamin, I think that's what I said first. And this is what's great about it. So yeah, we had spring hit, I think on the 20th earlier this week. The dark moon is a great time because the spring cleaning is to like, we're releasing stagnant energy. We're letting go of things that we don't need anymore. It's a really good time to be doing big cleaning, especially because the dark moon is here. So it's good. Possibly a Tuesday chit chat. Peace and love are getting a no rap in many spiritual communities. Right, because, and yes, I'm gonna write that down because we can talk about that. Right, because there's this like superficial, airy, fluffy, like, oh, you're one of those peace and love people. It's like we are completely dishonoring what those words represent by making it like a degrading kind of insult to say, oh, you're part of the peace and love crowd. No, what you really mean to say is that you're part of the spiritual bypassing crowd. It's a very different thing. But peace and love, those are the fabric of life, and to diminish it that way is really a huge dishonor. I'm going to write that down. We're going to talk about peace and love. This is for Tuesday. I'm going to stick it on my thing because I won't forget. There we go. Yeah, for sure. Right, the shelf space. The shelf space. Hi. Okay, wait, I missed something. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, the shelf space. I mean, I can't. I'm on a savings kick right now, so I'm really curtailing the expenditure of money, but months and months and months ago, I found other shelves that would fit my space better and make more use of the space, but I haven't been able to buy them. So I keep feeling like when I get those shelves, then I'll be able to fit all those. But who am I kidding? I'm not gonna be able to fit all these books in those shelves because they literally just keep multiplying. I don't even know. I just need a bigger house, which I don't know when that's gonna happen. That is hopefully on the books for 2023, but I need to wait. Marcelino says, "May Athena and Artemis guide all the spring cleaners." Yes, please. I take that guidance with an open heart. Absolutely. There's something great about that though, right? You wipe everything clean. It's all like everything's got its new place. There's less of it, hopefully, because when there's less, then there's just more movement. Certainly my books are not creating that kind of movement, although they do create the movement of the brain. So there's that because I love my books. Okay, let me see what else is going on here. Opening my Aveda replenishment order, sap moss. Oh, so I know this morning I ran out of the spray. I use their gray spray. I don't even remember what it is. And I ran out of Fomoliant. So I need both. What I love, it's always so good to like support your local small businesses. And we have an Aveda salon here on the hill. Um, I I don't know if they consider them franchises. I don't think that they're franchises. I think that if you just open up your own salon, then you can become licensed to be an Aveda salon, and then you're only Aveda. In any case, I love to support her and buy my things there. But when you order from the website, every single time that you order from the website, you get a bunch of cool little samples. So I always order from the website because I'm a samples girl. So yeah, Aveda Sap Moss is magic. Emily says, yes, I think spirituality New Age community very much get generalized as spiritual bypassing folks and as people who believe any of those problematic aspects of the law of attraction. Yes, which is a problem. This is why there's a person that I really respect. I'm not going to say what field because I don't want to call them out. I really respect their work is sound, their work is really powerful, but the lingo that's used is all about the woo. And I'm like, we need to call what it is. It's not woo is a way to like dismiss the depth and the breadth of what you're really talking about. We're talking about intuition, we're talking about spiritual connection, we're talking about shamanism, we're talking about ancestral work, we're talking about the true sensing of what our world is, our conscious sensing of the seen and the unseen. To say that it's, oh, I'm talking woo stuff is to really dishonor it. It's to diminish it, and it's to dumb it down or sanitize it down for people who are potentially either in denial about it or skittish about it. And we're not here to be small to keep people small as well. So I want us to kind of claim this. We need to claim it, right? If it's not woo. It's all the things that you know that you inhabit as your own priestess, right? Because we all, in many ways, we priestess ourselves into our spirituality on the daily. We're the ones who guide ourselves through what we're learning, how we expand, how we practice. Um, and the more clearly and more fully claimed we show up, the stronger we are and the more impactful we are. And to say woo is like to be like, psh. So anyway, all the things. I have a lot of opinions today, or every day. Emily says you could say that to the salon and they could ask Avita to send them samples to give to customers. Maybe, ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, because I would love to really keep supporting her, but it's like, it's always like so exciting to have the little bottles and all the things, especially when it's so expensive. It's a splurge. The good thing is that I only wash my hair. I know some people are going to get grossed out by this, but I only wash my hair once a week. So one of those bottles can last me almost 2 months ish, which is good because we could reclaim the word woo as woohoo. Woohoo! Hi Sarah. Welcome. I didn't see you earlier. Yeah, I don't know if I want to reclaim the woo. I mean, I'm a woohoo girl. I always say woohoo to a lot of things, but the woo, it's like, you guys, come on. We gotta like let that go. Um, we need more empowered witches. We need to be empowered witches and responsible witches. So all the things. Thank you, Jilmar, for pointing that out. I've got a note. The peace and love, getting the bad rap. We need to talk about that. And we can talk about that next Tuesday when we have our live. And then also, so I'm gonna just give you all of the really quickly what's happening next week. So next Tuesday we do our usual oracle reading live, as well as the witchcraft Q&A. We'll talk more about peace and love getting a bad rap in the witchcraft community. And then Tuesday evening, this is so exciting. So Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time is our live Witches Book Coven gathering. And we're going to have Danielle Blackwood come. We read her book for this month's reading, along with another book called Lunar Nodes. And she is an amazing astrologer, deep wisdom. Her writing is amazing. She's going to be joining us, and I am just like so giddy about the whole thing. I can't wait. If you are subscribed, don't forget so that you can be there. If you bought the single purchase book bundle, you got the invite in your where did you get your invite? You got your invite in the tracking number letter that you got when the book was sent to you, or the books were sent to you. And if I am not mistaken, we have 4 of those book bundles left. If you don't have the book and you're not invited because you don't have those books, go grab them, because the book that she wrote both books are amazing, but her A Lantern in the Dark was such a great book. It is a book that you're probably going to be referencing for the rest of your life because of all of the cycles that it walks you through. I love it. So if you buy the books, you won't obviously have had a chance to read them before we get together on Tuesday, but it is an opportunity to sit with an amazing astrologer and ask these really big questions and get really amazing information. So you don't want to miss that. So that's happening on Tuesday. Then next Wednesday here live on YouTube, we're going to go through the Q&A for the unhexing box that we sent out for the month of March. That is open to anyone. If you didn't get the book, if you didn't get that box, and if you aren't subscribed and didn't get the single box, which I think we have a couple of those left as well, you can still join, because we're going to be talking about her book. We're going to be talking about the whole idea of hex twisting and unraveling hexes and what that means for our magical life, and how it's always good to have a handful of very specific spells to do to kind of unhook yourself from whatever someone else might be sending you. it's going to be a good one. So you want to be there for that. That's free. That's here. That's live on Wednesday. And then, of course, next Friday, we'll do another guided meditation. Emily is rocking the Casbah and giving us links to all the things. And as Jilmar says, Aveda was small. Thank goodness SD Lauder purchased it and stays true. Yes. Yes. And I had hoped that when SD Lauder bought them, that they would have brought back sap moss, but they didn't. Anyway, I'm just glad that they did it now after all these years, because we already talked about the whole sap moss thing last Tuesday. It's so good. All right. Oh yeah, there you go. So you've got links to next week's live. Emily gave that to you there. And a link to my review of A Lantern in the Dark, as well as a link to buy the bundle, all the things. Emily's got you covered. So there you go. You've got all the stuff that you need there in the chat box. And I think that that's it. Yeah. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a restful weekend if you can. Try to carve out some time to just be. And then you might also, when you have a couple minutes here and there, you can go ahead and try this meditation wherever you are to see if it begins to and continues to shift you, to see what comes through. All right, my loves, I love you so much. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week. Bye.